asking, will she choose me? That shift is critical. When approval becomes the metric, autonomy weakens. The platform benefits from pursuit, not resolution. It thrives on continued engagement. As long as possibility feels close, the cycle continues. Eventually, the math becomes undeniable. High effort, no reciprocity, constant evaluation, minimal substance. At that point, leaving is not dramatic, it is rational. The house does not need you to lose completely, it only needs you to keep playing, and the only guaranteed way to stop losing energy is to step away from it. Section 2. The Neurochemical Prison. The exhaustion many men feel from modern dating is not just emotional, it is biological. Dating apps operate directly on the brain's reward circuitry, particularly the dopamine system. Dopamine is often misunderstood as the pleasure chemical. In reality, it is the anticipation chemical. It spikes not when you receive the reward, but when you expect one. Every time a man opens a dating app, his brain prepares for possibility. A match, a message, a sign of approval. That anticipation produces a small surge of dopamine, motivating him to continue the behavior. The key mechanism is intermittent reinforcement. Unpredictable rewards strengthen behavior more powerfully than predictable ones. This principle is well documented in behavioral psychology and is the same mechanism that gamblers pulling slot machine levers. Most pulls result in nothing. Occasionally, a small win appears. That unpredictability locks the brain into pursuit mode. Dating apps mirror this pattern precisely. Hundreds of swipes may produce nothing. Then suddenly, a match appears. That brief validation spike reinforces the cycle, not because it delivers fulfillment, but because it preserves hope. Hope becomes the hook. Over time, repeated dopamine stimulation from rapid, low-effort rewards begins to alter baseline sensitivity. The brain seeks balance. When stimulation is frequent, receptor responsiveness adjusts downward. The same behavior produces less impact. More swiping is required to feel the same anticipation. This is subtle. It does not feel like addiction in the traditional sense. It feels like restlessness, checking notifications compulsively, refreshing conversations, reopening the app without intention. Mood begins to fluctuate with digital signals. The new match elevates it. Silence lowers it. Emotional stability becomes externally tethered. At the same time, slower real-world rewards lose relative intensity. Reading feels less stimulating. Long conversations feel less exciting. Deep work becomes harder to sustain. The nervous system becomes accustomed to rapid stimulus cycles. Layer onto this the psychological mode of performance. Every message is an audition. Tone is monitored. Timing is calculated. Responses are optimized. Social self-evaluation networks in the brain remain activated. Chronic evaluation increases cognitive load and elevates background stress. Add repeated ghosting and unreciprocated effort, and the nervous system interprets imbalance. Effort without reciprocity signals social instability. Repeated instability generates fatigue. The paradox becomes clear. Men enter dating apps seeking connection. The process itself increases anxiety. They chase validation to feel chosen. The chase amplifies insecurity. Eventually,
When you're more nerdy or even just into various forms of fandom, it can be quite difficult to find an in-person sense of community. Hell, not too long ago, being an outward enjoyer of things that were pop culture, anime, comic book, or just kind of geeky would actually get you the ire and the label of cringe from most of the mainstream population. I mean, how often have we watched a movie where one of the tropes is that the geek is a loser, often wailed on by some of the more popular guys who are typically into sports or things that are just considered more mainstream palatable. And sure, in 2026, more high street retailers than ever are starting to cater toward things like anime and comic books, but actually finding a space that is dedicated to fandom can still be pretty few and far between, especially one where you can feel safe and comfortable being yourself at. And this, ladies and jelly beans, is where conventions come in. And for those who are unaware, conventions, also known as cons, are events that basically can cater to literally anything you can think of, whether that be more adult forms of play and media, or even just stationery and even animal care. But as you can probably guess from my very subtle background and also just the title of the video that you're watching, today we're going to be talking specifically about anime conventions. Although I actually imagine that some of the topics we're going to be covering is actually applicable to a lot of different places. And as somebody who has been attending anime conventions since I was around 12 or 13 years old, and also now gets to do them and attend them as a guest as part of my job, I have a lot of love for them. These events have consistently been a reaffirming and overall positive experience for me as I've nurtured my love of anime, cosplay, and collecting. And as an adult with the joy of adult money, I will consistently go and plan full weekends at these conventions with my friends in order to do group cosplays and also just have fun together. And I also can't understate how much I love an artist alley, and just being able to find niche fan-made goods of series and franchises that often get forgotten. My office and my home are filled with a lot of artist alley prints and original designs because I just love collecting them as I go to conventions. And if you asked me a few years ago, maybe 2019 or so, I would have wholeheartedly said that anime conventions have drastically improved since my time first attending as a teenager. Much less bootlegs, a much bigger variety and greater turnout, and a lot more price inclusivity for people of all ages and income. However, in recent years, I have noticed a creeping rise in things like AI artwork being sold, straight up stolen or traced artwork, 3D printed tat en masse, and bootleg goods passed off as authentic. All at a time where real artists who are attending these events are struggling to make back their table cost, or even worse, unable to get into the event in competition with these bootleg sellers and charlatans.
Hello.
For so many more families and new gen fans coming to conventions, I really want to highlight how Johnny, like myself and many others here online, have deemed convention slop. And for my beautiful audience, as a true demonstration of slop versus cop, I did indeed purchase a variety of bootleg items, including a mystery bag and some other random miscellaneous crap that I found, which I'll be comparing to real artist work that I found and purchased myself at the artist alley. So you'll get to see a real comparison between a bootleg and an authentic mystery bag, and my accountant is going to have to try and justify why these are expensive for work. Now, as a quick but necessary disclaimer, because I feel like media literacy is good and I'm living in hell, my criticism of any stalls is not me endorsing the harassment of any person or persons involved with that business or brand. All stalls I actively purchased and filmed gave me permission to do so, as well as just the standard filming rights allowed by the convention. Also, is it okay to film? Obviously, I want to double check. Yeah, awesome, thank you. I'm making this video not to tear down individuals, but to highlight a real issue when it comes to transparency around publicly available and sold products. Because at the end of the day, when people's purse strings are growing ever tighter, I just feel like it's really unethical for a lot of these sellers to operate in the way that they do without anybody highlighting what they're doing. Now let's talk 3D printed goods. So if you've been to your local farmer's market, toy store, or even just trawling through Etsy, you have very likely seen an abundance of 3D printed figures and fidgets. And just to preface real quick before people get really angry in the comments, I do think that 3D printing has its space and place within anime conventions and cosplay. Many of my friends and online cosplay mutuals do use 3D printing as a way of building up their cosplay props and creating items unique for their costume, allowing things like big swords or helmets to be significantly lighter and more durable than other counterparts. And equally, I do think using 3D printing can be a smart business move for some independent businesses and sellers. Hopping onto Google as a casual consumer, the average baseline for a 3D printer or resin printer seems to be around £200. Although usually if you want to go to a little bit more of a capable one, you're paying closer to £400 or upwards. And the top end can be anywhere from £1,000 to even £2,000 for home and personal use. Not to mention the cost of the filament, the learning curve, and the maintenance, all of which add additional time and money to your initial purchase. So if you want a prop for an upcoming convention that's going to be happening in a couple months, theoretically you could buy your own printer and do it yourself, but realistically, depending on how often you're planning to use it, it's more cost effective to ask a friend or commission a business to do the printing for you. Taking on the responsibility of a fragile, bulky, and at times temperamental piece of equipment just for a couple of props sounds like an ADHD hellscape. It gives the same vibes as buying a really expensive embroidery and sewing machine because you just want to get into sewing, but you've never used a machine before. It's probably best to not drop £2,000 on one and instead start with the basics and see if the hobby sticks. I'm looking at you. Looking at you in the audience. I was looking at a really expensive one as well when I was on Hopcraft. I was like, ooh, Goodbye that. I was like, I don't need a fucking embroidery machine until I know how to use an actual sewing machine. Yeah, I don't need the expensive one right now. I want to get one when I know what I'm doing. Because I had a sewing machine when I was younger because I can sew. And then as soon as I didn't know how to maintenance it, because I was a kid, I was like, it doesn't work anymore. It did work. I was like, I'm not doing that. Sorry, sewing machine. I didn't realize it was painfully cleaned. Sorry, 3D printing can look really good in the hands of people who are sincerely interested in that type of craft. One of my main Christmas gifts this year was this 3D printed Nita statue. My good friend Baby Pingu printed out and smoothed the finish of the statue, and tuning the design and the print multiple times to ensure that pieces weren't breaking off, because apparently the hair on this particular figure was very brittle and kept breaking in the printing process. And then my friend and PNG tuber artist hand painted it. And the end result is a really cool and unique figurine that I really love having in my collection. She looks fantastic, and especially because she was made with love by people who know the things that I like and were DIYing it and making something special. Items like this make total sense to sell at anime conventions. I love custom figurines, garage kits, and creations. And you know what? I don't begrudge a few small trinkets and fidgets either. I myself have a few small clickers and keychains that are the byproduct of a small business selling small 3D printed goods as just an additional way of raising money to sell their artwork alongside. Those are also perfectly cool and fine, and are often a really great affordable item that many younger people or those on a lower income can pick up as well. Oh no, my beef is with the unimaginative, repetitive, and sometimes even drop-shipped 3D printed slop. At this point, there is nothing cutting edge or unique about 3D printed dragons or slugs. They have listings drowning Etsy small businesses, and you know it's mainstream when Amazon is overrun as well. Who the f needs a 3D printed dragon the next day on Amazon Prime? Who? These irritating, unsmoothed pieces of landfill are a plague on any form of convention, artist alley, or independent market. They can somehow always be found taking up space. It is a rare day that I find a well-finished and unique 3D printed item at an anime convention, because so often for so many of these sellers, it is the laziest and cheapest way of printing your own money. Edges and filament lines remain unsanded, meaning the finish and paint is sloppy at best. And the worst part is, it's often not particularly cheap either. I dare you, if you go onto AliExpress right now, you can find some of these 3D printed dragons going for as cheap as £2, with the designers no doubt going to be making an appearance at a farmer's market near you. And considering that AliExpress is a consumer platform, imagine how cheap a bulk load of these pieces would be on a wholesaler website such as Alibaba. Sure, I have no doubt that some sellers very likely might be making their own designs for these 3D printed dragons and these 3D printed items. But it's easy to have these suspicions when these same sellers are already dealing in dodgy cheap tax. No doubt the allure of just skipping the middleman and importing them in bulk is rather tempting. Again, I have been told and do understand that these items can make money consistently for a lot of people, and some artists do use them as a safeguard to ensure that they're not losing money from vending at an event, especially if the rest of what they are selling is more artisan, expensive, or unique handmade goods. I'm not here to shame or condemn at all. I'm not catering to what sells, if they're doing it to ensure the security of the things that they actually care about. I don't think artists should have to lose money just because they have a certain set of principles that are idealistic but unrealistic. But I think myself, many other attendees, and even stall owners have become fatigued. We know that when these things inevitably break, they won't be seen as worth it to fix, and therefore will just end up in a landfill alongside other trend-based tabs. They high-key just remind me of the post-COVID equivalent of those resin 3D pyramids that every single person was making during the pandemic without proper PPE, all of which after the fact have now ended up in charity shops who can't even give them away. At what point does an item become slop and therefore become a product that conventions should limit their space given to? And while some of you stew on that, obviously angry, holding your 3D printed slug in hand with your arm or fist as you speed off to Reddit or Twitter, let's talk about another issue that has been plaguing conventions. My next favourite slop item, the mystery bag.
Arby's $7.99 for $3. It's more meal for your money.
Don't compromise on your sunscreen. Get this. Invisible protection you can trust at half the price.
The pollen synthesis.
Scott's back.
As soon as I see some weeds popping up, I'll get my bonus S out, put it in the spreader, and I'll hit that area. That'll keep the weeds at bay. You feed it, and it's thick, and there's no weeds. No weeds. Get out of here, weeds.
Claire has something she wants to tell the family. I'm pregnant.
Was anyone in this family born intentionally? It's fun to have company.
Your mother's in jail. You guys clean the house. I'm a housekeeper. See that? I just kept house.
Why are you here?
I'm innocent.
Have you said anything to anyone? God, this woman's innocent.
Mystery bags of various forms at anime conventions have been a thing since I was a kid. And usually, in my experience, there are 3 different types that you can find. First is the artist alley, our favorite place to be. Usually hand curated by an indie artist, these tend to contain things such as pin badges, button badges, art prints, stickers, stamps, anything that you can think of that contains a little bit of trinketry and whimsy. And usually they'll be quite upfront as to what is in the bag, but maybe it's going to be a selection of characters as opposed to the specific one that you're looking for. That's the mystery bag element. So quite often they will say you're going to get 1 keychain, 1 sticker, 1 stamp, or 1 art print, 1 keychain. They're usually pretty transparent. The second type is an authentic mystery bag found from the vendor's hall. This will be put together by a brand or business in theme with a certain show, character, or franchise. Oftentimes, these can be items that they actually have excess stock of and are looking to shift at a lower overall cost. And as you can imagine, when it comes to any brand or business that is trying to remove excess stock or is trying to offer certain products, they can be hit or miss, especially as certain items such as Funkos, which are often found in these mystery bags, used to be in vogue, but in more recent years just have fallen out of popularity because we are so oversaturated with Funkos. However, these brands and businesses do sell authentic and licensed goods within these bags. And the third and most controversial is another mystery bag that can be found in the vendor's hall, but this time being riddled with stolen artwork and bootleg merch. These bags nearly always feature stolen or AI artwork on the front, and inside they have barely anything in them. They are bags. So we're talking a handful.
Where dreams meet the skies, waves of light are dancing like a whisper, like a sigh. Every sense a weaving through the velvety night. In this realm of wonder, everything feels right. From the skies and the grace, dreamy soundscapes fill the space.
Can I get a yes or no? What do you want to know?
Meanwhile, the price that you would pay on average at most UK anime conventions is going to be closer to £20. How do I know this? Well, I decided to make my accountant very happy and actually
This tea have feels for me. Yeah, we can do that for 3 credits.
How bad these things really are. And just to really hammer it home, just in case anyone isn't down, I'm also going to be comparing it to fan-made artist alley items, as well as an official.
I don't have credits. You said that last time. Oh, you thought you were going to get it for free this time. I see.
Which, as a side note, made it an absolute.
Melodic whispers float on high, in a place that dance beneath the starry sky.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get good footage of the sign because consistently there was a lot of the mystery bags going around, so I didn't want to kind of get
A aurora chega, doce e silenciosa, com o primeiro raio de luz que aparece. As sombras da noite se dissipam e um novo dia aos poucos transparece. O céu se cobre de cores suaves, uma paleta de esperança e paz. A aurora do dia, tão terna e bela, ilumina o caminho, aquieta a alma. Que cada amanhecer seja uma tela pintada com sonhos e calma. Ouço o sussurro do vento leve, trazendo promessa no seu sobrão. Cada detalhe do desperto é uma sinfonia à espera pulsar. Canto dos pássaros saudando o sol que acende no céu, pairando a aurora do dia, tão terna e bela.
So tired.
Ilumina o caminho, aquieta a alma. Que cada amanhecer seja uma tela pintada com sonhos e calma. Sinto a brisa que traz a fragrância do frescor de um novo começo. É o despertar da esperança na doçura de um sol adormecido. A aurora do dia, tão terna e bela, ilumina o caminho, aquieta a alma. Que cada amanhecer seja uma tela pintada com sonhos.
Waves of light are dancing like a whisper, like a sigh. Airy scents are weaving through the velvety night. In this realm of wonder, everything feels right. And the skies embrace, dreamy soundscapes fill the space. Melodic whispers float on high. In a place filled to meet the starry sky. Beneath the aurora's glow, where dreams meet the skies, waves of light are dancing like a whisper, like a sigh. Airy scents are weaving through the velvety night. In this realm of wonder, everything feels right. And the skies embrace, dreamy soundscapes fill the space. Melodic whispers float on high. In a blissful dance beneath the starry sky. My vocals gently rise, like echoes in a dream, creating layers of wonder in the aurora's gleam. Rhythmic bass flows softly, guiding every thought in this ethereal landscape where peace is sought. And the skies embrace, dreamy soundscapes fill the space. Melodic whispers float on high. In a blissful dance beneath the starry sky. Ethereal moments spread across the night so vast. In the glow of aurora, time seems not to pass. Every note a painting, every sound a light. In this valley deep of dreams, we take our flight. And the aurora waves guide you through this cosmic dance. In a realm of dreams, caught in a glance. With every shift, let your heart sway in the beauty of aurora. The night turns to day. mi destino en los rayos que me llegan. Guitarras susurran suavemente bajo el cielo claro. La aurora te envuelve en un abrazo raro. El abrazo de la aurora, sus colores nos llaman en el suave resplandor. Nuestras penas se hermanan con cada nota que florece en esta melodía. Sentimos la esperanza y la dulce poesía. Los sintetizadores analógicos pintan un paisaje, una música tan etérea, un amor que nunca viaje. Cuerdas orgánicas me elevan por encima del suelo. La aurora nos lleva a un mágico desvelo. El abrazo de la aurora, sus colores nos llevan.
Yeah, so this guy fucking hates my guts. I tried to call him private. This guy removed his voicemail, so I can't even call it and leave a message anymore. Not to say that I have. Like, I think the last time I did was last week, but I emailed him like about the whole pregnancy abortion bullshit. That was it. And now, after I fucking tell him that, this guy removes his voicemail. What a piece of fucking shit. Like, what is he doing? Like, what is wrong with this guy? Honestly. I feel like there's no future reconciliation at all at this point. I feel like this guy has really, maybe in the current state he hates my guts, but I honestly feel like he has reached his breaking point and he wants nothing to do with me. And I truly feel like he is not going to come around like you say. I don't know if you can tell me otherwise. Don't tell me what I want to hear. I want to know the truth. What the fuck is going on with this guy right now? If I need to do a reading, I need to call you, I don't care. You need to tell me what's going on. I'm very fucked up right now. This guy completely removed his voicemail, girl. Like, really? Come on. I'm shocked because if I was actually pregnant and he did that to me, like, imagine me raising a kid and this guy did that to me. Like, that just makes me not want to be with him even more. Like, it's actually convinced me, like, this guy's no fucking good for me. I don't give a shit what people say. He's a twin flame. He's your soulmate. He's gonna come around. Look at how the fuck he's treating me right now. All because some next bitch is in his life. He's not a fucking good person. I don't give a shit if he has good qualities. The way he's treating me is
Get them over with.
We found this opportunity. We paid for it. We're working for it. Look like the hero done took off. My man is got it.
This is the Midnight Kawaii Premium Mystery Bag. This is a Hatsune Miku themed bag. You shouldn't be seeing anything else in here, I don't think. This is more expensive. This is $50. However, again, was that worth even £10 for the other bag? Probably not. I wouldn't say so. I would pay £10 for that stuff at all. But let's see if this is any better. This is full of, what are we going to figure in? That's rolling off the front side there. Yeah, we've got, hold on.
Intuition beats logic every single time. Without our intuition, we would be so much more behind than what we are today. We need our ability to read omens. We need our ability to feel. We need our ability to suss out if something isn't right.
Joy to hear it's not the great feeling you are 13.
Intuition beats logic every single time. Without our intuition, we would be so much more behind than what we are today. We need our ability to read omens. We need our ability to feel. We need our ability to suss out if something isn't right. If somebody is weird, somebody seems off, trust your gut, trust your instinct. Look how logically figure out what's going on with them. If something is telling you, if a thread is pulling you in a certain direction, if you have a certain hunch about something, follow it. It doesn't matter if it seems odd or bizarre or weird. You should be following where your gut leads you, because there's so many instances in history, even scientists having dreams, having visions, and finding something that was not previously known. And we'll get into certain examples of that later, but it's completely valid to trust your gut. You know, people like to make fun of feelings or, you know, facts over feelings. And yeah, I get the joke, but really, feelings are more important than what people give them credit for. And most people still are operating on a feeling-based basis. Even if you like to think that you're some cold, logical, rational human being, you're driven by unconscious forces and forces beyond your comprehension in terms of the metaphysical. You know, depending on where the stars are, depending on what runic day we're on, you know, something's going to be pulling you in a certain direction. Now, we think that we know everything because of the scientific method, but there was many scientists who weren't using the scientific method and were given something from the beyond or from a god or from a spirit or whatever you want to call it, and they received something that was powerful. Now, maybe this is the subconscious mind relaying information back to them via a dream, but it still proves that the subconscious mind is powerful, like a painting. You can learn more about Hyperborea than the painting Exodus from Hyperborea in any book, any video, any commentator, anything. That visual medium of absorbing information is so powerful, and we don't even fully understand it yet, but it is a sigil
It's a mean, magical sigil. We're going to mean magic a bit. I know it's tired. I know it's played out. I know everybody already has heard everything about that, but it's relevant. And it's this ability to absorb information from a visual medium using our intuition that can grant you insights that you can't typically get to by just trying to consciously come to that realization via language in your mind. And there's one practice I do to strengthen these types of intuitive abilities. I call it runic raw dogging. And when you do a runic raw dog, you're just staring at a rune, not trying to decipher it, not trying to understand it, just staring at a rune. It's going to work with tarot too, but I prefer the runes. But whatever type of tool you use, if you just focus in on it and just gaze into that image and just let your mind, your subconscious mind, your spirit, your energy just kind of flow in alignment with that type of image, you will unlock more powers within your subconscious mind, within your spirit soul. You will gain prana, you will gain brill, you will gain chi tides, kind of like a
Hey,
form of
how are you?
an internal spirit body.
How are
So
things?
when you look at a picture of like the Hyperborean art, it's relaying things to you, and your subconscious is absorbing that information deeply. And that's the
You're all
process
good?
in which you can learn how to read into things at a higher
A bit of an
level, how
update.
you can understand predictive programming, how you can understand symbolism, how you can understand all these threads and how to weave them together. Is that the more you can
Okay, so he did come back around,
head and juggle these ideas logically,
wanting to try again.
the better thing to do is just stare at sigils or stare at images or stare at these architectural designs and let the subconscious, let the intuition deprogram. Not to say the subconscious because that's kind of what we understand here, but in reality, I think it's just your soul, the deeper part of your being, and we just call it the subconscious. But I think it's more metaphysical than that. So,
And if it looks like I'm spacing out,
to these conclusions,
I'm just
kind of
still
illustrate
under the weather.
kind of speed run things. For instance, I've had punches of things that, no, I thought nobody thought. I
Ugh.
thought that I had this hunch about the sea people. I knew the sea people weren't just mysterious wanderers that nobody knew anything about.
Yeah, just pollen. And I had a rough day a few days ago. Like I was doing tarot from the minute I woke up until I went to sleep. But yeah, you're rebuilding things. So it's good. It's right on schedule. Ugh, good.
Egyptologists were pro-Egypt were saying that these Bronze Age people, the sea people, were kind of north.
Can I do an IOU with you? It depends. What do you want to know? Oh, a tomorrow? I guess I could do a tomorrow IOU. Oh, thank God.
When your intuition is going down the wrong path, then you can kind of counter-intuit your intuition a little bit better. So even if you do go down,
I just want to know if he won't have kids with me in the future. We already went over that. Remember? He definitely will want to. Like towards the end of the year. How do I remember all of these things? You don't think that will change? No, not really. How do I remember into the year two? I don't know. Maybe it's my ESP. I think I made a song about it. One of my AI songs about tarot. How it's like I get possessed. I start recalling perfect information about anyone who I've talked to. Haven't brought it up yet. I was going to give it a couple of weeks. Yeah, just let them ease into it. Maybe that's why they've been flocking to me so hard lately. How's Canadian girl? She's fine. She's actually been messaging me today. I think she talks to me every single day. What do you mean? Oh, on one of my other jobs, well, platforms or whatever, I'm just burning hot right now on there. Like the site managers were like talking to me, like putting me in a contest or whatever. Because I'm just getting a lot of people talking to me on there. Like hours of calls. Yeah. It also makes me wonder, where are the other readers? Like, where are the other tarot readers at? Well, I mean, every industry is having a shortage. So I don't know. Has a random picked up? Not really. It's basically the same, but I don't mind it actually. Now that this extra gig has picked up, I mean, at least it puts my face out, gives me a place that I can list for other platforms I want to work on, so I can say that I was on here. But yeah, because this other platform takes way more of your money, but they seem to know how to just get clients on there. Is it more expensive? I think the tokens, I think the credits cost more on here on a random, I think, which is probably why it fluctuates, which is why it's like very glacial on here. I mean, I think this is also just an older site too. But yeah, the other platform ends up costing way, like, I mean, I already told you about the Canadian. She literally will call me for like 3 hours. And she's definitely spent at least $1,000 on me, I think last month, and she's still calling me. So I don't know, their system is a bit different. Like, it's all based in an app, so there is no desktop live stream component. Clients get like, I think they get like 10 free messages to advisors. If they want to get more, they have to, like, you know, microtransaction. And of course, there's the private calls. Yeah, they can call me whenever. basically. Though I do have posted hours on there. But of course, people end up calling me outside of those hours. I feel like the other platform, you can definitely get, I feel like some of these people get addicted to it. I mean, because they also like give them digital card readings. Because there's like open questions they can just ask the app, and the readers can like leave voice messages. They're like open questions that multiple readers can put their opinion on, and then the people just they start chatting with the reader that they like. Yeah, you can still get hooked on here. The client base is just smaller. But it's also because Random kind of does, they don't, how did I even find this site? I forget. But Random just doesn't put a lot of advertising out as much as they might need to. But they don't, it's not, this site isn't a priority for them because the parent owners, they own a very large private chat site that's more adult. So this is like some people say this is like a laundromat front. So yeah, this is like a bonus to them. Which is also why you get a bunch of weirdos on here. I think last week some dude like flashed me in a private call. I'm just like, wow. Yeah, I guess I'm just now realizing I don't get those weirdos on the other place. But there's also no video chat, though you can send pictures. So yeah. But yeah, it's annoying how it costs to send messages. I think it's, you can set it to free on here. I forget. I mean, now that I got this other line set up, if I can make mine free, I probably will. Yeah, I'll probably look at that now, because I actually like messaging people on here when I'm bored. Yeah, free messages probably are the secret to getting things moving on here. Mainly, I had that in place to deter freaks because I've had many. Yeah, like my highest messengers on here have been very weird men sending inappropriate pictures. So I'm like, okay, I guess I have to filter that a bit. Yeah, so that's why. So that's immediately why I wouldn't be surprised if like none of these people have free messages here. But yeah, I'll go ahead and change mine. Oh my god, what's my password? I can also tell that the traffic is pretty slow on here because even when I make like a drop in the bucket on here, I'm like always like near the top 100 on the site, or I'm in the top 100. Like right now, I'm only like number 163 apparently, and I've only made like $16 for the month. So that tells me it's just like iceberg speed on here. Let me see. Oh my god. There's not a free option. The lowest I can set it is 150. Darn. Huh. That may be why some readers. So yeah, it's like a I mean, but that's being a content creator in general. Okay, yes. I guess this literally does count as content creation, but yeah, generally when you're making money online, working for yourself or whatever, like the money, it's just not gonna be easy. And a lot of these people, especially for tarot, I mean, I think you'll find that like most of these tarot readers like don't do this stuff full time. They have like a 9 to 5 or something else going on. So that's also less of an incentive to like dump hours and hours and hours and days and days and days of grinding this. Yeah, I kind of don't have a choice. Which is probably why I can tough it out. This is all I have. I think the full-time readers you'll find are the ones who basically are on their way to the street. I chose to do it full-time, yeah. It was something I always wanted to do, even when I had a 9 to 5. Because I also do something else. I mean, like when I'm not streaming here, I'm like chatting with people on other platforms. So yeah, like I only make my money off of fortune telling or entertaining people. On the way to the street, yeah, because I have to find a place to move to in October. And you know, it's just very hard to get a job that won't make me freak out or dome myself or something. But yeah, even when I was a manager, I was still doing this stuff. So I didn't like start cold turkey or something. Yeah, you have your remote job. It also was just a weird time because by the time I lost my normal job in 2023, you know, that's basically when AI was on the horizon. So, I mean, I had an option to get into transcription, but, you know, my high IQ saw that the robots were getting smarter. So I was like, probably a bad call. So yeah, now AI does AI is just doing more and more and more and more and putting more people out of work. So, including transcription. So, I was going to have to pay like $300, $800 to take a transcription class. So I was like, heck no. And of course, I just live in a dumpster place in America. Like, I'm like one of the bottom 50 states. So there's not a lot of opportunity. Though I would want to work in a casino as a table games dealer, but they're still not budging on that. Cheaper to live here? Yeah. It's cheap compared to other places, but that's about it. And for most people, it's kind of not worth, like, the being cheap thing, like, kind of just doesn't matter because there's nothing to do and no one to see, like, date or anything. So, which is why I'm in my little box here every single day. And I don't seem bothered because there's literally nothing to do outside of my house. Literally. I mean, except go to the bookstore, I guess. Could meet someone there. I've definitely met people there. It's not anything I want to get involved with. The last person to hit on me at the bookstore, we were hitting it off, and then she was like, because she was working there, and she was like, OMG, yeah, I'm 17. And I'm like, nice. Then I just went home. I mean, she definitely didn't know how old I am. So, I mean, it's happened to me many times. I mean, I've dated way younger girls in my life. Like, I've dated younger people in my life. I just don't want to do that anymore right now. Maybe if I have my own house, maybe. Not right now. Did we really ask about kid timing? Yes, we did. I think it's just that you get okay, well, here's the thing. I feel like it's a general thing with people that come to psychic websites is usually, for you to come to a psychic website usually means you're going to be in a worked up state. So yeah, it's pretty normal for people to not remember things. That's like usually what I have to do with my longer term people is I have to kind of like remember what we've talked about, because they will ask like the same question. I'm not necessarily trying to milk anybody. I mean, I could totally just answer the same question again, like ChatGPT. I wonder if ChatGPT would like tell the user you've asked this before. I think it like straight up will just answer your question over and over. But yeah, I try to keep them on task. Think it does eventually. I'm probably going to try that tonight. Because I've definitely argued with it before. It would put its foot down. If you have an account, yes. I have that with Copilot. During my darker days, oh my god, I'd be arguing with that thing. It's a good conversation partner to a degree. You just got to be careful you don't go bonkers. Maybe that's why I don't have AI psychosis yet. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be here. Oh, another person that I remember. Hello. You hit him with a hammer yet? Not yet. Has he been triggering you? What? You broke up with him.
If you have sensitive or reactive skin, you do not need more steps or more ingredients.
I mean, what was he still arguing?
Formulas that are actually going to perspective and barrier. So partner with Massage Cafe to show you products that I recommend all the time. That exactly. Hi, Lauren, I'm Dr. Alexandra Brown, a dermatologist, and welcome back to the channel. As someone with sensitive skin, I am very picky on what I do. And honestly,
So what's been happening? He wanted me to chase him. What? Michael Jackson. I mean, but why? I don't understand. Why would he want you to chase him if you were already together?
And because of that, Gege Akutami hadn't even developed domain extensions yet.
Because he's a drama king. Well, I mean, you know, Capricorns do like to flex their muscles.
So here we're going to imagine, you know, yeah, we saw a fully realized adult version of him in the story, but let's pretend that he was going to continue through the rest of the series. How might he have grown alongside people like Gojo, etc.? Right?
Not always won the battle.
First of all, these two were called the strongest for a reason. Okay, Gojo as the six-eyed.
Yeah, strength versus the devil. Interesting matchup.
Like they were thought of as the strongest together. So just because he has first spirit manipulation, he was on that level. Now this was pre-awakening Gojo, but still, right? That just speaks to the power level of first spirit manipulation.
So what else are you doing?
In the entire series, S tier, best of the best, right? You can literally build an entire army with this thing, and I do mean an army because we see multiple times throughout the series this technique unleashed hundreds, if not thousands, of first spirits at once.
Talk to new dudes. You got anyone in mind?
So given enough of the correct time and work, you could theoretically have millions in these arsenals. Now, when we're talking multitudes like that, obviously the vast majority of those first spirits are going to be
One.
but honestly,
Tell me about him.
not to mention 10,000 or 100,000 or something, is going to be a problem
What?
for everyone.
You want him to marry you?
Gojo, Sukuna, and Yuta approach it at this point, right? Even aside from the countless fodder spirits, he's going to have special grade spirits, like singular spirits that can be able to take out most sorcerers, no problem. Spirits equipped with their very own domain expansions and special abilities, and he could have thousands of that quality. Each and every powerful first spirit out in the world could theoretically just have that added to Geto himself, right? Like, imagine if he captured all of the disaster curses. Sure, Hanami Dragon and Jogo are extremely powerful, and he could deploy those to deal with 99% of the burst, right? But Mahito in particular is absolutely insane. And we saw this with the Injustice, and that's why I think that Gege Akutami just had him immediately Uzumaki him to get him off the table, because having Mahito at your beck and call, even if he is capped at whatever power level you absorbed him at, is insane, right? Imagine you just summon Mahito, and all you're going to have him do is heal you. Every time you take any damage, he comes and uses Idle Transfiguration to fix you up. And that's like the weakest possible application of Mahito I can think of, right? You could just have him go one-shot anyone you want. You could have him change your shape to suit whatever needs you need in the moment, right? The same way he did for himself. If you control him, you could have him do that for you. You could have him turn you into Sukuna, have the forearms, 2 mouths, the perfect body for sorcery. He could literally accommodate anything you need, and he wouldn't just be able to do it to you. You could command him to do this to other people, to your allies, perhaps even to your other cursed spirits, right? Now, what exactly might he be able to do to boost people in that way? I don't know, but really, it's a blank drawing board. We can do whatever we want with it, right? Like, having Mahito under your command would be insane, and that's just one cursed spirit, right? There is a whole world of them out there, and the more powerful he gets, the easier it's going to be for him to capture any spirit he wants. And even if we want to say he couldn't beat Mahito and do it himself, well, he can just go ask Gojo to help him, right? And I don't want to get too into the narrative here, because, like, you know, is he evil, you know, whatever the case may be, but he could have help to go get these cursed spirits. It's not like the 10 Shadows where he has to do it himself. And on that note, imagine if he gets Rika, right? And I've got a full video where I talk about it video, so I'm not going to get into it here, but, like, just imagine how powerful this man would be. And while there might not be other Rikas out there, there are certainly other insanely powerful cursed spirits that, like, we never even saw, right? So really, there is no limit to the amount of strength he could accumulate with this technique. Now, however many spirits he gets, it is hard to imagine him ever beating Gojo, right? But we do know in Jujutsu Kaisen 0, Geto's thought, with Rika, he would be able to defeat Gojo. And this isn't Teen Gojo we're talking about anymore. This is awakened adult Gojo. So
Again, I'm not even saying that this version of Ghetto would get Rika. It's going to depend on if he's a good guy, if he's a bad guy, whatever the case, right? But certainly there are theoretically some cursed spirits out there, some amount of things he can add to his arsenal that he may even be able to rival the likes of Gojo and Sukuna.
This is the boot that started it all. When you think of LL Bean, you think of the Bean Boot. Since 1912, 113 years ago, the Bean Boots are still handmade right here in Maine. We literally have a Bean Boot for everyone, every type of style.
I'm a whole back in business for so long.
Stop the conversation. Ask your doctor about Briumvi today.
Out here, spring means mowing yards and fields, fixing fences, or maybe even breaking ground on a garden. Shop trusted brands and spring supplies for your property, animals, and family at everyday low prices only at Tractor Supply.
And even if for whatever reason we want to say that he'll never be able to beat a Gojo or a Sukuna in a one-on-one, like, who cares? That's not even really what this video is about. It's just about his potential. And I think his far outshines theirs in terms of what he's capable of on a grander scale, right? Like, he can literally have an army of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of cursed spirits, each with their own techniques, and each potentially with domain expansions, right? Like, it's absolutely insane what this would be capable of. And I haven't even talked about other applications of this technique yet, because cursed spirit manipulation is one of the few techniques that actually has a maximum, and that is Uzumaki, the ability to not only just put out insanely powerful energy blasts, but on top of that, to extract cursed techniques from his army in order to use them himself. Now, he can only use it once, but still, like we saw what Kinjaku was capable of with Mahito's idol transfiguration. Now, personally, I would never destroy Mahito because he's too valuable as just an asset, but just think of the possibilities there. Literally, any cursed spirit that you come across that has a technique, you could use it yourself. So even if for whatever reason the spirit itself wasn't sophisticated to accomplish what you needed with it, like Kinjaku and Mahito, he could use it himself. He could essentially have a deeper and vaster bag than Yuta Okotsu does with Kaku. It's just that he's limited where Yuta isn't. But at the same time, he's not limited. He can just have the spirit do it for him indefinitely, right? But you guys get the point here. Like, there is so much versatility with this. And I just remembered something I forgot to mention in terms of the vast army of cursed spirits. Geto could theoretically make them even stronger than they were by enhancing them with his own cursed energy, as Kinjaku explains here. Even if they're just low-grade cursed spirits, after enhancing them with my cursed energy, swarming them and giving them orders, they can even take out grade 1 to grade 4 levels. This is Choso, by the way. So a weak spirit commanded by an intelligent sorcerer, enhancing them with his own cursed energy, can take out grade 1s. Those are weak spirits, okay? Now imagine dozens, and maybe way, way more, but we're going to be conservative here, dozens of very strong cursed spirits. Imagine the disaster curses all working in tandem, enhanced by Geto's cursed energy. All of this, and we haven't even talked about the standard things we give most maximum potential characters. Things like, simple domain, RCT, a domain expansion, and yeah, let's give this version of Geto all of those things, but they're really just icing on the cake. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't need RCT if he's got Mahito out there healing him, but yeah, we'll give him RCT. Mahito can do more extreme things, so he's gonna be able to heal. It would give him a domain, but he doesn't even need it, honestly, given the potential of everything else he can do. He can have 1,000 spirits use domain expansion for him, but yeah, we'll give him a domain. That would be an alternate win condition for, the most powerful of opponents. Now, again, what would it do? Dealer's choice. On top of everything here, I think Geto possesses the correct mindset to truly excel. Kind of like what Sukuna was pointing to with Kyoko. He should have burned it all down. Geto would have done that. We saw him do it. He literally killed his own parents in pursuit of his goals. Your boy is just yapping and resources might even be an understatement. Like, I truly think that his maximum potential is limitless. All right, so with all that out of the way, I now wanted to respond to some questions I got that inspired this video, and a lot of these are in response to my video from a few days ago talking about what if Geto had been a good guy. So check out that video if you want like the full context. But first and foremost, shout out to Gregory who inspired me making this video, and I believe I addressed most of what you asked here, so thank you so much for the support. And then next up, in reference to my good guy Geto video, EDG asked me if this version of Geto would be able to command Mahito to heal Mechamaru. And yeah, I think that should be possible. And EDG says that Mechamaru can kind of fulfill the role that Yuta had filled. In my good guy Geto scenario, Yuta dies so that Geto can get refilled. Again, watch the video. So yeah, I think that is a kind of cool stand-in. Plus, it would be really cool to see more from Mechamaru. But then on top of that, EDG was asking, could Mahito seemingly make people have immunity restricted? Like, could he take someone, alter their soul, and make them like Maki and Toji? And this is interesting, and I think I have talked about this in the past before. We don't know, like, I can't give a sure answer on that, but it might be possible. Like, maybe he could alter someone's soul so that they don't have any cursed energy, and then maybe they would become like Maki and Toji. So, you know, it's hard to say, but I would imagine a Mahito that has been absorbed by Geto, meaning he can't deepen his knowledge or try and understand stuff like that better, probably couldn't do it, but like a full potential Mahito, not tamed by Geto, maybe could unlock that ability. And then building off this max potential Geto, Franco points out that maybe he could even force domain cancellation by using his cursed spirit domain. Referencing the fact that he saw when his opponent pops his domain, and then all three cancel Geto's burn out, and still has no domain expansion plus power versus an opponent who's out of luck. So this is interesting, and in some scenarios, I think something like this could work, but I think domain refinement will come into play here. And we don't know that all three of these characters were equally refined. Like, that was never stated. But I do think that if one of them had been like far outclassing the others, then they wouldn't all collapse, and the strongest one would just overtaken them all. Like, if Sukuna had been in this situation, I don't think his would have collapsed. So maybe Geto could do that against some people, but I don't think it would work against everyone. Then next up, Saint says, do I think a cursed spirit manipulation would have been able to theoretically absorb Hashimo when you use will be Amber? Kind of in between stage when he wasn't really human anymore, but he was more electricity and pure energy before the technique ultimately built it. This is a really cool idea, but no, I don't think it would work, just because I don't think Hashimo shifts from human to spirit into transformation. I think it is becoming like energy or electricity. Now, where's the line drawn on that? Because all that process is happening with cursed energy, sure, but I still don't think it would fit within the realms of cursed spirit to be able to be absorbed by Geto or the cursed spirit manipulation user. But again, cool idea. And then finally, both Mandatory Group and Patriarch Prime asked me a similar question, kind of coming from two different directions. And that is, what if Sukuna had taken over Geto as his vessel, and what if he had taken over Jaku as his vessel? Basically, what if Sukuna had cursed spirit manipulation? And this would be good night for the verse, right? Because all of the potential we've been talking about throughout this video now wielded by Sukuna's genius, right? So yeah, I think he would be insanely powerful with this, which kind of begs the question, why did he never try to take Kinjaku's body from him, right? And I think he just wasn't interested in it. Like, even the reason he took Mega Beam wasn't because he wanted to tip shadows, right? He just wanted a body that wouldn't be a prison for him. And then he kind of jumped on the opportunity to upgrade his arsenal to learn from Maharage. And not because he wanted to keep using Maharage, he just wanted to take that adaptation and then leave the 10 shadows in the dust, upgrading his own arsenal. So yeah, I think Sukuna with spirit manipulation would be disgusting and could do some crazy stuff, but he's just not interested. Anyways, that's gonna go for this one, y'all. Be sure to let me know your thoughts down below, and as always, thank you for watching. Got my grill stuff. Thank you.
the top.
Get your Venmo debit card today and get up to 5% cash back. Got it.
Come on, let's go. Hustle. Double stroller. Go.
When you're ready for emphasis on the break.
Hi guys, welcome.
It matters where you stay. Book your spring break now.
I'm really ill.
Hilton for the stay. Start the conversation. Ask your doctor about Brianna today.
Toto is so strong that he had to be written out of the manga for the majority of the story. Okay, just let that sink in. His mere presence, the mere aura, was too much for Gege Akutami to handle. So let's talk about how strong Toto will be at his full potential.
The cop asks you, where are you coming from? It sounds friendly, but it's not small talk. It is a setup question, and one normal